Well, hello, 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 and good afternoon, and welcome to this special live episode of How to Use. I can't even remember the title. I've called it How to Use, How to Get the Most Out of LinkedIn as a Creator. There we go. That's the title that I've called this show. Do you know what? I have done so many LinkedIn lives. It's like they all merge into each other, but I absolutely love being here. And it feels like ages since I was last year doing a live. But here I am doing this special live lunchtime session because I want to jump on for the next kind of 40 minutes or so. We are going to talk about how you can get the most out of LinkedIn as a new creator. Now, I'm going to go into what all of that means in just a second, but if you've never been to one of my lives before, then you won't know that I always want you to let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from, because I know that people tune in from all over the world, because that is one of the beauties of LinkedIn. This is a global platform. So I am currently broadcasting right now live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So hello, 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 wherever you're watching from. So just give me a hello in the comments and let me know where in the world you are. And as already we have got Felicia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Felicia. That's a lovely name. Felicia says good morning. We've got Anthony, we've got Remy, Katie, and Felicia or Felisa is in Jamaica. I love that. As a LinkedIn user, who says you're too funny? Of course, I laugh at my own jokes, okay? Even if no one else does, I can guarantee you I will laugh at my own jokes. So that's all good. But thank you. I can't see your name, by the way. But yes, as you keep those coming in the comments, and where in the world you're tuning in from. Mavis is from Ghana. Anthony is from Houston, Texas. I love it. I love it. We are going to talk about this topic today: how to get the most out of LinkedIn as a new creator. And by the way, please react to show that you're watching. You can see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen there. So just use any kind of reaction that you want just to let me know that you're watching, because it's kind of hard to know who's live and who's watching. And even if you're watching a replay, please do the same and put a hashtag replay. Drop it in the comments to let me know. Hi, Cheryl from North Carolina. Elena from Halifax, Erica from Detroit, Michigan, Katie's in Florida, Christina is also in Florida, and Remy is in London. So I love it. I love it. We are a global community on here, which is absolutely awesome. Ugondu is from Nigeria. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Now, this is going to be an interactive session in that I want you to be drop in your thoughts, your takeaways. If I say something that resonates, I want you to drop it in the comments. If you've got any questions for me as I go along, I want you to also drop that in the comments, because I want this session to serve you. I want you to leave here with any questions that you have about building your brand or your business on LinkedIn, fully answered, or at least as much answered as we can do in 45 minutes, right? Okay, so that's what I want. So don't be shy about dropping your questions in the comments. Now, I wanna address the fact that I've called this "How to Get the Most Out of LinkedIn as a New Creator." The first time I did a session that was for LinkedIn, people who are new to LinkedIn, was about 3 years ago actually, and I called it for LinkedIn newbies. Now I changed the terminology this time around to new creator, because guess what? That is actually the term for you if you are somebody who either creates content or you are intending to create content on LinkedIn for the purpose of whether it's building your visibility, for elevating your thought leadership, advancing your career, all that good stuff, or attracting your ideal clients. So if you create content on LinkedIn, you are a creator. Even LinkedIn themselves have now finally got around to using that terminology that other platforms have been using for quite a while actually. But so that's why I've called this LinkedIn for new creators. So you might not see yourself as a creator, and actually, just by I was gonna say show of hands, but I can't actually see your hands, right? But let me know in the comments whether you actually think of yourself as a creator, because I know that some people don't. So this is why I wanted to start by defining what I mean by creator. Do you think of yourself as a LinkedIn creator, as a content creator? Put yes Mildred, I'm a creator in the comments. If you do, put no, I'm not a creator if you don't think you are. Right? As in prior to me saying what I said right now, let me know in the comments if you consider yourself a creator because I know that some people do not. Some people think that you have to be some kind of, you have to, I don't know, that someone has to bestow the title on you. You know, there you go. You are now worthy to be a creator because somebody else has said that you're a creator. And to be honest, there was a time I thought, I used to think like that, you know. I was like, oh, you know, am I really, I'm not a LinkedIn creator. I mean, I'm just putting content out on LinkedIn, you know. That's just what I was doing. There wasn't any kind of intentionality behind it. And in case you don't know my story, and I'm seeing it coming in, so I see a few yeses right now and some no, but I'm becoming one. I like it. Not yet. I like the not yet. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so for me, when I started posting content on LinkedIn, I've actually been on LinkedIn for about I don't know, at least a good 15 years or so. Mainly as a from probably like the same as you. I got on LinkedIn because I thought, hey, this is I'm working. I'm a professional woman. This is a place for me to be, you know. So I signed up to LinkedIn, and then but at the time I also had a business. I've always had a business. I had my careers. I started my career in journalism. Worked in the media for a bit before I moved into PR and then comms, you know, but I always had a business on the side. So I did both throughout my entire career, 15 plus years of juggling both worlds. So LinkedIn was a place where I would come on and kind of put content out there. Every now and again, kind of when inspiration hit, and who knows that inspiration is very unfaithful because inspiration was not coming all that often. So maybe in the beginning days I was supposed to maybe once or twice a month, and then maybe if I was up here, it'd be maybe 4 or 5 times a month. But then at the beginning of 2020, I made a conscious decision that I was going to become intentional about building my personal brand on LinkedIn. Why did I do that? Because I had seen that even with the kind of every now and again bit of posting that I was doing and I was getting engagement and stuff and at the time it was building my business in terms of most people who were finding my business and my previous business prior to this was I was doing CV resume for my American friends, makeovers for like mid to senior level professionals. I was helping them find jobs by doing their CVs. You know, so most of the people who found out about me were doing it through LinkedIn, found me from LinkedIn. I thought, oh, this is great. And on the career front, putting out the activities and the things that I did on LinkedIn was having a positive effect internally in the organizations that I worked with. So my personal brand actually became an asset to companies that I worked for. So this is where I am speaking. When I do my visibility training, I'll coach women on how to build their personal brands on LinkedIn, whether it's for your business or your career. So by the way, if you need help with this, reach out to me, send me a DM. I run VIP days where it's me and you one to one, do it online or face to face if you're in the UK. But the reason I'm saying this is like the effect of building my personal brand on LinkedIn, it had a positive effect on my business and it also had a positive effect on my career. When you build your brand, that is a currency that you can trade for things. You can trade that for promotion at work. You can trade that for advancement. You can trade that for income if you're a business owner, getting clients, etc. Your personal brand is really, really important. It's important currency to build. So when I became intentional about LinkedIn and I started building my personal brand and intentionally, things just flew. You know, things they just kind of all went through the roof from there. And this was in the beginning of 2020. I started posting on LinkedIn every single day instead of every now and again when I felt like it. I committed to posting every single day on LinkedIn, and that's what I started in January 2020, and I have not stopped since. Every single weekday on LinkedIn, I have put out content, and sometimes weekends too. That is 365 days. Take away the weekends times 3.5 years. Yeah, that's a whole lot of posting. That's a whole lot of posting. So I became a creator by accident. but I now own it, and then LinkedIn came to recognize it, giving me recognition as a LinkedIn top voice and all the other kind of perks that comes from building a platform. And I've been able to build my audience to over 50,000 followers, etc., on LinkedIn, all through becoming a creator. So this thing matters. If you want to advance your career, if you want to build your business in a way that is relatively much easier than the other approach of cold calling, banging people on the head, all of that, becoming a creator and building your personal brand is the way forward for you. So this session, I'm going to help you with how to get the most out of LinkedIn as a new creator. So that is my very long intro, which hopefully has whet your appetite a little bit to say, if you don't already actively create content on LinkedIn, I want you to, by the end of the session, be like, yes, Mildred, I am ready to do this. I am ready to start being visible. I am ready to move my career forward or move my business forward. Okay? So, awesome. I'm looking in the comments. I love it. Multi-content creator. Anthony is. Alina is working on it. Nicola says, I never really thought about it until now. Awesome. Ameshi, hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ameshi's tuning in. And yes. And we've got some. Oh, Richard, you're the LinkedIn user. Richard Answer. Hi, Richard. Good to see you. Just out of interest, I want you to put in the comments for me. Are you a business owner or are you an employee? Because I want to know who I'm speaking to. In the comments, so I can see who's a business owner, who's an employee, because there's different ways that you use LinkedIn if you're a business owner or if you're an employee. But the ultimate thing that both of them have in common is that building your personal brand is going to serve you in both aspects, and you do that by being visible as a content creator. Michaela says, I am ready, Mildred. Yes. We got Elena as both. Remy is an employee. We've got some business. Okay, business, employee. We've got a bit of a mix in the audience and some who are both. Like I said, I did both for a long, long time. So, but the key point is build your personal brand. Whether you're in business, whether you're an employee, building your personal brand is going to absolutely work miracles for you. All right. So that is what I mean by creator. So this session is for you if you want to build a career. Like I had a client who she, prior to working with me, she was just on LinkedIn posting every now and again, and in her organization, she had a senior role, because I generally work with women at senior level. She had a senior role, but it wasn't the highest that it could be in the organization. And then she came to me, wanted to improve her visibility on LinkedIn. So we started working on a strategy that involved her becoming a content creator, involved her being visible with her content, and other strategic things that we did in this training. Now, over a period of time, what started to happen, she would say to me, I would go to meetings at work and my directors are saying like, oh, I read your post today, that was really good. Or as referencing her name, as she said on LinkedIn, and she was like, oh my God, I've spent so long at this company, I didn't even know that some of the higher levels knew my name. But now, because of showing up on LinkedIn, she was in a situation where directors and other company were noticing her, and that opened the door for her to sit at more tables, more opportunities at work, and later on it led to promotion and a salary increase. That is what can happen when you start being visible on LinkedIn, which is external. That can have effects inside your organization. So please don't think that what you're doing on LinkedIn is a waste of time, especially if you're connected to people who work in your organization. It's a way for you to get your voice out and be heard and be seen, heard, and remembered internally without you having to be at all the relevant board meetings, etc. In fact, it's a way for you to get invited to the meetings that you're currently not getting invited to by being visible and building your personal brand. So that is what can do for you. If you're a new content creator and you're doing it for career purpose, that is potentially what could happen for you. Or you can be headhunted by another organization. That is also there. Now, if you're in business, my gosh, the potential for building your brand and becoming a content creator, what that can do for your business is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Now, would you not want to do business in a way that is effortless, where your clients, your ideal clients, your target audience are drawn to you because of the brand that you've built up. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you this, right? If you type in LinkedIn coach, LinkedIn trainer, LinkedIn guru, LinkedIn, whatever you want to call it, right? On LinkedIn, right now, you're going to find thousands and thousands of results. People who are going to tell you, I'm going to help you with LinkedIn, and they have all kinds of different strategies, etc. What you are not going to find is another Mildred. You're not going to find another Mildred Talabi. Not just because my name is unique. And by the way, I used to hate my name when I was younger, but now I love it and I own it because how many Mildreds do you know that look like me? Not many, right? Okay. Not only are you going to find that there's only one Mildred Talabi, but the uniqueness of what I bring in the way that I teach LinkedIn, one, it's the visibility approach. It's something that other people don't do. Other people have their own version of doing things. So this is what happens in your business as a business owner. When you focus on building your personal brand, you set yourself apart from the competition because guess what? Nobody, absolutely nobody can do you like you. No one at all can do you like you. So that is how you're going to stand out. When you start being visible as a business owner, what starts to happen is you create a brand that your audience gets to know, like, and trust. And as they get to know, like, and trust you, then even whether it's you approaching them about your services or more, in more cases than not, they approaching you, the transaction becomes easier because they are buying from somebody they already like. I had a call one time with a lady and she was like, because I get people, if you want to work with me, I get you to fill out my form, a book a call in my diary, all that kind of stuff. When we got to the call, and I was like, okay, I started the process of trying to, first I start the process by listening. I like to hear about you and learn about you. And then when it got to my bit, where I got to like, okay, I wanted to tell her about more about how I work. She's like, Mildred, you don't have to go further. I'm already sold on you. She's like, I've been following you for about 6 months. I've read all your content on LinkedIn. I've watched your videos on YouTube. I subscribe to your newsletter, which comes out every Monday. I'm already sold. Where do I pay? I was like, okay, then let's do this. So this is what can happen when you build your personal brand, and you do that through becoming a content creator. You have to create content, enough content out there as a business owner that your ideal clients can binge on it, that they can get to know you, like you, and trust you, so that when it comes to that place when you're having those conversations, it's a done deal already, right? So even this session now, some of you are watching this right now and you're like, oh my God, I love Mildred and I'd love to work with her. And they'll be like, some of you, maybe like one, because I'm amazing, who's like, I don't love Mildred and I don't want to work with her because of this life. And that is absolutely fine. I'm not here to be loved by everybody, and neither are you. And neither should you be concerned about that. As a business owner, your priority is making sure that you serve your audience, which means that you have to know who your audience is, and that's the training in itself. That's another thing. Okay. All right. So, oh my God, I haven't even got to point number one, right? Christina, the name Mildred means gentle counselor. Yes, it does. I looked up the meaning of my name. It means gentle, loving spirit. And I was like, that is so me, because, yeah, except when I'm angry. But apart from that, that is so me. But, okay, so thank you. Thank you for that. Evelyn, good to see you. Evelyn's loving this session. Already so many gems. And Michaela, oh, you're amazing. Oh, thank you, Michaela. I'm sure you are amazing too. Okay, right. So let's talk about the benefits of LinkedIn visibility. I think we'll talk about the benefits. I might come back to that, but I want to talk to you about some key facts about LinkedIn. Now, if you're new to LinkedIn and you're new to creating content on LinkedIn, you might not know some of this stuff. So I'm just going to run through it. And as I said, if you have any questions as I go along, please drop it in the comments because I want to help you out as well with your questions. But these are some key facts, and which are sometimes key misunderstandings, misconceptions that people have about LinkedIn that I want to help to correct now for you so that you can fully embrace this mindset of using LinkedIn as a creator. Okay? First of all, LinkedIn is not a social media platform. Oh my God, really, Mildred? What are you talking about? How can LinkedIn not be a social media platform? Is it not the same as Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and oh, not even Twitter anymore? Whatever blooming Elon Musk is calling it these days, right? Is it not the same as these other platforms? The answer is no, it is not. Now, the key word in this is that those other platforms were created with social purposes in mind. So they are social media platforms. LinkedIn generally falls under the social media platform, but LinkedIn isn't actually a social media platform. It is a professional platform. LinkedIn was always created with the intent of being a place where professionals can get together and connect with each other and on a professional level, not on a social level. This was not the place for you to share pictures of your cats and your cute babies. This is not what LinkedIn was created for. That's Facebook, you know. But this is not the place. LinkedIn was created with professional purposes in mind, which is why it's taken it quite a long time. But at the beginning, it was like a job thing. People kind of signed up to LinkedIn to find jobs and to make professional connections. Even today, workplaces will allow you to kind of go on LinkedIn during work and maybe do LinkedIn learning courses. But if you were to go on Instagram or Facebook or you know Snapchat. Who goes on Snapchat? Unless you're like 12. I'm joking. I don't know. I've never used Snapchat. So if you're an adult using Snapchat, don't be offended. I've never used it. Okay. All right. Disclaimer off. But anyway, so LinkedIn was not created with that purpose. So if you understand this idea that LinkedIn is not a social media platform, so then you have to ask yourself, okay, if LinkedIn is not a social media platform, what is it? So this is where the answer to that question is what's going to help you understand that this is a powerful place to build your personal brand. LinkedIn is not a social media platform. It is a platform for you to connect with other professionals for the purpose of advancing your career or your business. Now, does that mean that we shouldn't be social on LinkedIn? No, it does not. I am not part of this brigade that say, oh, this doesn't belong on LinkedIn. That's Facebook stuff. Whenever anyone puts a selfie, out on the phone. Because guess what? I use a lot of selfies, so I would have to block myself, okay? But listen, that means, but the thing about, even though it's not a social media platform and it is a professional platform, what LinkedIn has that all the other platforms also have is this human beings. Yeah? It has human beings, and human beings like to connect with each other, and we don't just like to connect on a professional level only, which is why that there is, and it's been the rise of this has been a whole lot more in the last few years. I won't say years, maybe year, 2 year or so, where you see more personal content on LinkedIn, especially through lockdown, where people are now blurring the lines between what is work and what is pleasure, and then LinkedIn becomes that blur. And I think that's a good thing, because now we're in a place where we're engaging on a professional level, but we're also bringing in that personal element. Because guess what? Remember at the beginning when I talked about this whole idea of being known, liked, and trusted? Yeah, that's the concept of social selling. When people come to know, like, and trust you, if you're a business, that's what social selling is, right? So that know, like, and trust, in order to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you, I'm going to have to get to know you beyond just the professional level. Right. Now, how many of you, do you have a friend? I'm going to ask you now, do you have a friend? Is there any friend in your life who you consider a good friend who you only know at a professional level? Right. Raise your hand. Raise your hand by typing it in the keyboard. Right. Just think about it for a minute. Do you have any friends in your life who you consider a good friend that you only know the professional stuff about them? So you know where they work, you know what their job title is, you know what key performance indicators they've met at work, but you don't know anything about their life outside of work. Now, is that person really a friend? Is that somebody that you can know, like, and trust? And I mean, yeah, riches is no, it's true. You can't, because in order to know, like, and trust someone, you need to know them in many elements. So LinkedIn is not a social platform; it's a professional platform, but that social side of it still plays a part here. Because guess what? You cannot build a personal brand without some personality. Okay, that is worth you typing that in the comments and repeating and sharing that on wherever you share whatever, right? you know, you cannot build a personal brand without some personality. Can I just talk to you for a second, because you have been trying to hide. If you've been there, you've been trying to hide your personality because you've had this idea that in order to succeed on LinkedIn, you have to be the bland professional person. So you're only putting out boring content, which is just very professional, but it doesn't show us a flavor of who you are. Can I suggest that that is the reason why LinkedIn is not working for you? you know, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's why LinkedIn is not working for you. And can I ask you to stop doing that today? yeah? Today. Stop doing that today. Inject some personality into your personal brand. Otherwise, you don't have a personal brand. You really don't. But okay, you can tell that that bothers me, right? So this is oh my god, I'm totally gonna run out of time before I cover everything. So we're just gonna have to maybe come back with a rest. But I'm gonna keep going, okay? I'm gonna keep going. Michaela, I might even say your name right, Michaela. Michaela's asking, how do I get known for minority recruit? How do I get known for a minority recruiting firm? So this is I guess you're asking me, how do other people come to know you? Uh, Tell me a bit more. Is your business minority recruiting firm? Is that what you do? I'm guessing that that's what the question is, and if that is what you do, what you're asking me, how do I get known for this? If that's correct, let me know, Michaela, before Mikhail. Please tell me how to pronounce. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please correct me because I don't like pronouncing people's names wrong. But okay, so all right, so that is what you're asking, Mikhail. How do I get known for a minority recruiting firm? How you get known for being a minority recruiting firm is how you get known for anything. And that's by building a brand that allows people to get to know you, to get to know you, like you, and trust you. So that means everything about how you show up on LinkedIn needs to speak to this whole idea of helping companies, organizations recruit minorities. So that's about building your personal brand around this topic. And that's how that is going to help you build your personal brand around what you want to be known for. Now, how you do it, that's a whole is a whole strategy in itself. So please feel free to reach out to me. This is what I do. This is the work that I do with clients, and I'll be happy to help you in that arena if you want to discuss how that could potentially work. But really, ultimately, it's about building your personal brand around what you want to be known for. Okay. Oh, good. And I'm pronouncing it right. Awesome. I had about 8 key facts to tell you about LinkedIn. I've only done one. I've only done one. All right. So I'm gonna try and go through the rest a little bit quicker. Okay. Forgive me if I don't get time to finish everything today. It means I'm just gonna have to come back another time. All right. Okay. Second fact is LinkedIn is not a jobs platform. It is not a jobs platform. Maybe like in the beginning, 20 years ago, or however long ago it was, I can't remember exactly when LinkedIn was founded now. Can you believe it wasn't even that long? My God, time is flying. But anyway, LinkedIn is not a jobs platform. A lot of the time in the work that I do, I work with women primarily, and to build their brands on LinkedIn. And some of the objections that I hear people say is like, oh, well, LinkedIn is like for, it's a job platform for job seekers, for like professionals, it's for like, that kind of stuff. And I'm not one of those, so I don't know. Can it work for me? Can it work for my business? Can I build my business on LinkedIn? The answer is yes. yes, and yes. You can absolutely build your business on LinkedIn. And more than that, you should. You should. This is what this session is designed to help you to break through some of those ideas that you have about LinkedIn, which are not correct. So LinkedIn is not a job platform. Right. So we're not going to go too deep into that because that kind of is covered by the whole thing. It's not a social media platform either. Now, here's another one. Here's another fact. LinkedIn rides on visibility. Right. This is I am biased towards visibility because, as I said in the beginning, my background is journalism. Then I went into PR. Then I went into comms. One of the things that I realized, oh my god, I'm actually like literally sweating. It's so hot. Like we rarely get this kind of heat in England, right? My window's open, but not too open because I didn't want all the noise coming in. But I'm actually sweating. Oh my god. Anyway, anyway, ignore all the sweating, right? So LinkedIn rides on visibility, and by this, I mean, oh yeah, I was telling you. See, this is it. I went off on a tangent, and now I forgot what I was saying. I was telling you about why visibility is so important, right? So, in my background, journalism, media, PR, whatever, right? One of the things that I noticed time and time again when it came to things like quoting sources and bringing experts on and all of that, it was the same people who keeps getting churned around and around. In fact, even if you watch TV today, right? Turn on TV, watch TV for any period of time. You kind of see the same faces and expert commentary on the news is that same person again and you're like, is this the only person who can talk about this topic? you know? The answer is no. That is not the only person who can talk about the topic. But guess what? That is the most visible person who can talk about that topic. The difference I read in a book, what was the book? I can't remember the book, but by Thomas J. Stanley. This is something like this. The difference between someone who is knowledgeable and someone who's an expert is visibility. That is it. This is the difference between an expert and just someone who's knowledgeable is visibility. The more you are seen, the more it establishes and reestablishes your credibility, your thought leadership. And guess what? The more opportunities come your way. So people perceive you more as an expert because you're seen more. And the more you're seen, the more opportunities you get to be seen, you know? So this is how it works. So if you look at, for example, a viral post on LinkedIn, you can put out your post, which is great and awesome content, and you get like maybe 10 people like the post, and you go home and you turn off the computer and you might cry a little bit because it put you a lot of effort into that. And then you see some next post about some, I don't know, some video that someone got of TikTok and posted on LinkedIn, and it's got like thousands and thousands of reactions. And then if you go back a few hours later, there's thousands more, and the day after, there's more. Because guess what? The visibility is getting more visibility and more visibility and more visibility is how it works. LinkedIn rides on visibility in the sense of the visibility is important. If you don't create content, you are not visible. Now, content creation happens in two ways. It happens in the post that you actually create yourself, which is a must, by the way. You must create your own content, especially if you want to build a personal brand. Create original content. Don't spend your time forwarding other people's content and reposting other people all day because that does not build a brand. that does not build a personal brand, right? Create content. So content creation allows you to be visible. Another way that you're visible is also through engagement, engaging with other people's content. And by engagement, I mean leaving comments. And I don't mean like, oh, great post type comments. I'm talking meaningful comments. So as you do that, you engage and you post content, that increases your own visibility. So LinkedIn Rise on visibility, and that visibility is going to help you to build your brand. It's going to help you to grow your followers. It's going to help you to attract opportunities to advance your career or your business. Visibility matters. Okay, so I have a LinkedIn user who says, I have found it hard to build my dating business on LinkedIn, even though many single professionals would benefit from dating differently. Any ideas on this? Now, this is I should actually do a session on this and like just Q&As, like a whole surgery. By the way, before I forget, I am launching a podcast next month in October, which you're absolutely going to want to subscribe to when it comes out. It's called Start Being Visible with Mildred Talabi. I'll be doing some teachings around visibility, but I'll also be interviewing some awesome women who are in order to raise the visibility of women, female leaders across all industries. So you are absolutely going to want to subscribe to that podcast. Connect with me for more details on that. I don't know why your thing triggered that podcast thing, but the dating business. So here's the thing with targeting a niche like single professionals is on LinkedIn. Is your target audience on here on LinkedIn? Absolutely yes. They are here on LinkedIn. There are many single people on LinkedIn. And if you have a dating business, they are ready for you. But the issue that you have is that most people who are single on LinkedIn haven't got that stuff written on their forehead. I am single and looking to date on LinkedIn because this is not a dating site. So what you're going to have to do, this is a very, very quick because obviously we'll need to kind of go into detail on what your business is, what your brand is, all of that to give you a more complete answer than I've got like 30 seconds, to give you an answer. So one of the thought I want to plant in your head is that you can draw your audience out through your content. So when you create content that is useful for your target audience, and you do, you're strategic about where you're engaging and being visible and all of that, you're actively bringing in people who are potentially your target audience into your network on a regular basis, right, daily basis. When you do that, you can draw your target audience to you through being visible. So imagine, for example, you're doing lots of great posts about how someone who's single can transition to a relationship, or you're doing best places to, like, I don't know, meet your future partner, whatever it is. I don't know what the content is. You're the expert, right? But you're doing this and you're doing this consistently, and it's getting out, and slowly you start to get visibility. As when you do this for long enough, you will start to build trust in that area. People will start to know you, like, and trust you. And then the people that you're looking for will start reaching out to you because they are resonating with your content. Now, the best way for people to know that you can help them, I always like to say this, the best way for people to know that you can help them is by helping them. So as you help someone through your content, they are going to want to get more from you if it's relevant. So, like this session that I'm doing now, this is helpful for some of you. You might be like, oh my God, Mildred's doing a free session where she's helping me with my business. Imagine what it'll be like to work with Mildred. I'm going to contact her to find out. Yeah? And I totally encourage you to do that. I have a very small window. I do VIP days. I only have 3 of these that I do each month. So which are one-to-one sessions, and that's the only things I'm doing at the moment because I've got a goal that I'm focusing on for the rest of this year. So if you are interested in finding out more about what it looks like to work with me, send me a DM. Don't hang about. Send me a message. So I hope that's at least helpful. LinkedIn user, whose name I don't know, but essentially is start building your brand around the topic you want to be known for, and you will end up attracting your target audience to you. They'll come out of the woodwork. Okay, so okay. I didn't say it was Q&A time, but we might as well make it Q&A time because I've got like 5 minutes left, and I haven't even gone through half of my content. So I'm gonna do this as a Q&A, and then I'm gonna have to come back probably sometime next week to do a part two. And finish up on the rest of it. Okay. So I'm coming to your question, Carl. I'm going to come to your question. In the meantime, just in case you're tuning in and you're like, what is going on? We are talking about how to get the most out of LinkedIn as a new creator. So please react to show that you're watching. Use any one of the reaction buttons that you like to show that you're watching, even if you're watching on replay. Also, just let me know you're watching on replay. And if this has been useful for you in any way, please drop it in the comments. Drop your takeaway in the comments. And if you'd like to work with me, at least know what it looks like to work with me, because you might not meet the criteria, people that I work with, then please reach out, send me a DM, and we can look at how to make that happen in terms of the next steps. But okay, so I'm just going to spend the last 5 minutes taking your questions because, as I said, we're going to have to do a part two. And keep a lookout on my post for when the part two will be. If you don't already follow me on LinkedIn, please do. If you hit the bell button, that's somewhere on my profile page underneath the banner, I think it's on the right hand side, then you will be notified each time I post. So then you'll be the first to know when I post part two of this session. Okay, so Carl says, how long does it take to build up visibility? How many posts should you post a day? Okay, Carl, that is an excellent question because everybody likes to have achieved, 50,000 follower status You don't have to have 50,000 followers. I wasn't even trying to get 50,000 followers. I was just trying to be visible and just put my brand out there and get some business. The followers came by themselves. But how long does it take to build visibility? I believe in seasons. The way God created the world, things work in seasons. Summer, 3 months. Autumn, 3 months. Winter, 3 months. What's the last one? Spring, 3 months. That is a season. Farming has season. There's time for sowing. There's time for reaping. Harvest season. Everything works in season. Now, in order to see the results, if you're planting something, in order to see it come to fruition, at least a little bit, for the most part, you need to wait a season. So I say at a minimum, is going to be 3 months for you to start the process of building that whole know me, like me, trust me. Now you can start before then, but I'm talking about if you really commit to the process of building your visibility on LinkedIn, how long is it going to take before you start seeing some fruits from that? What does the fruits look like? The fruit looks like, it could be, if you're in business, it could be attracting your first client via LinkedIn. It could be a podcast opportunity to be on someone's podcast. It could be a speaking engagement. It could be someone, if you're in career, someone at work noticing and saying, hey, I really love what you're sharing on LinkedIn, whatever it is, but it requires you to be faithful for a season. And I would say a minimum of 3 months is that starting point. Now, how many times should you post in that 3 month period? I always tell my clients, right? I post every day, and I've posted every day, every weekday, that is, since 2020, beginning of 2020. And it's cool for me. It's part of my routine. It works. It's great. I don't burn out from it. I love it, right? I tell my clients a minimum of 3 days a week posting, 3 days a week for visibility. One post, 3 days a week. So you don't have to do several postcards, but one post 3 times a week. So for example, if you do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, but you engage every single day as well. Ideally, and I'm coming up with some thoughts around this because I'm actually also writing a book, another book, book number 5, Breaking News, right? Which will talk about some of this concept. But ideally, if your daily posting is achievable, let me just put this here. Daily posting is achievable by everybody. You can post every single day. I know people worry. I have people say to me, Mildred, how can I post every day? I don't have enough content. Yes, you do. It's all about learning how to find it. And if you have expertise in any kind of subject, whatever your field is, and you cannot talk about it once a day, 5 days a week, then you seriously need to maybe read some more books, go on some more courses, dig in a bit deeper. I can talk about LinkedIn all day long. I can talk about personal branding all day long. Visibility. There are other things I talk about too, by the way, just in case you want to know, like marriage, parenting, all of that. But anyway, I can talk about this stuff all day long because I've done so much work in this area and I have practical daily experience so I've always got something to say, and I've got women that I coach, I have clients, so I get this stuff. You have enough content to do daily. But if you cannot do daily, at least do 3 times a week. Yeah? Do 3 times a week of posting if you want to be visible. That's the thing. If you want to build your personal brand through being visible, 3 times a week of posting. So, okay. Oh my God. It is now 1:45. I said this was only going to be 45 minutes long, and it's now 1:45. I've only done like a third of the content, and there's questions in the comments. So what I am going to do, I'm going to answer your question, the final question, and then I'm going to invite you guys to come back and join me sometime next week for part 2. Now, when next week, I'll have to figure it out, right? Because this is not in my plan, but I will figure it out for next week, and I will post it on my feed. But in the meantime, if you want more, if you want to dive deeper on this for your own business, if you want the personalized content, and in terms of how we can work together on a strategy for your own business and building your brand on LinkedIn, reach out to me, send me a DM, and ask me about my VIP days offer that I do, one-to-one coaching that I do, which is amazing, transformational. Like, you're gonna love it. Okay, so final question from Donna. LinkedIn has sent me job notifications. I have several colleagues with LinkedIn looking for work badges, and I ask monthly by LinkedIn if I'm hiring. This is why I believe it's a hiring platform. Your thoughts? That's because that's what LinkedIn does. That's the LinkedIn algorithm, So it sets it up on those looking for work. By the way, LinkedIn never asks about looking for work because my thing is I'm self-employed, in terms of my what I'm registered as on LinkedIn, but it does send me that hiring stuff. Just ignore that stuff, it's just programmed to do that. That's just the algorithm update doing that. Just ignore that stuff, So LinkedIn, there are opportunities for hiring, there are opportunities for getting jobs on here, but there are also opportunities to do so much more than that. And that so much more than that is to build a personal brand that drives your career forward or your business forward. You can absolutely do that on LinkedIn. So don't limit it in your mind or in practice to a jobs platform because it's so much more than that. And okay, with that, we are going to have to sign up from this session. We are going to have to sign up because I like to keep the time. So we will be back. I will be back with a part two, and I say we because you're gonna join me. We're gonna be back with a part two sometime next week. But for now, please keep throw your comments, throw your questions. Let me know your key takeaways in the comments. Put them in the comments, even as a sign up. Put them in the comments. I'll go back and read it at some point. And yeah, let me know questions as well. I'll try and go back to the questions that I haven't had the time to answer on here, and I'll try and reply at some point soon. But yes, key takeaways. If you enjoyed this, let someone else know who's going to benefit from it next week when we go live again. Reach out to me if you want help to build your own brand specifically on LinkedIn, whether that's for your career or for your business through being visible. And if you want to find out more about me, you can do that on my website, mildredtalabi.com. And that's where you can also pick up a copy of my LinkedIn book, Start Being Visible, which is amazing according to the 50 plus people on Amazon who have reviewed it, right? Okay. But all right, so that is it. I am gone. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.